There is a basically good story. A California father has won full custody of his son, his 4-year-old son, after the 4-year-old's mother tried to raise him as non-binary. Here's the story.
So Sawyer's mom started identifying that way herself, to the best of my knowledge, and she started trying to call him they all the time, and weird neutral pronouns like that, as well as some incidents where, she tries to put dresses on him or forces him to wear some sort of girly clothing or attire.
So it says, the Cali dad told a host, I know he's a boy, he wants to be a boy. He gets angry when you say he's not a boy. He was overjoyed to learn that his then girlfriend was pregnant in 2019, but she abruptly really changed, and now she started identifying as a they, them. And he was finally able to meet the boy when the boy was 15 months old. And then the boy's mother was arrested for felony child endangerment, so that really motivated him to try to get custody. After some unspecified incident, Child Protective Services recommended that the father be granted custody. And then the New York Post points out, this is not the first relationship to fail after one of these trans ideology phenomena started to crop up. Yeah, that's true. So this is generally good. Generally good stuff, right? Sure, the woman got pregnant out of wedlock, but they chose not to kill the kid. That's good, and then the father wanted to be involved in the kid's life, but then the mother had all these sorts of problems. And so then he won the custody. So luckily this mother was not able to her kid, her poor little boy. And so a lot of good stuff here. I can't help but notice, though, a through line in a lot of these stories, custody battles over ideology. A through line is divorced and unwed parents, right? That's kind of the through line. In a lot of cases, it's some divorced father suing his wife because the wife now either has become a lesbian or the wife just embraces the gender ideology and wants to raise the kid as, a they, them or whatever. And at the heart of basically all of these stories is a cracked up family. So there's a cracked up family, and no surprise, there's going to be a cracked up ideology that's going to try to crack up a kid, of course. I wonder how many of these cases of the gender ideology would exist if we had significantly lower rates of divorce. Even when it's not one parent trying to peddle the ideology on the kid or, and fighting the other parent about it, just divorce traumatizes kids, and then they spend a lot of time online and they go on various social media platforms. I've interviewed detransitioners about this, and they spend a lot of time and they've got all these complex emotions to process, and they look for an outlet, and this is the latest identity fad. Just wonder if we're always trying to treat the symptom of a social pathology, but we don't seem to get to the actual cause of the pathology. So you see this especially today. We were talking about this a little earlier. That everyone agrees, all sensible people agree, we need to stop this. The kids. Kids is really bad. Okay, yeah, that's really bad. But what about the adults? The reason the kids is bad is that a man can't become a woman. So if that's true, then why do we let the adults? Well, because our politics just all comes down to acts of volition and consent. Okay, well, if a kid looks up and sees that Uncle Jerry is now Uncle Jane, if a kid in the entire popular culture sees constantly this propaganda that a man can become a woman, that's going to incline him to believe that a man can become a woman. So you actually can't solve the kid's problem without dealing with the adult's problem. But how do we get to the adult's problem? Well, because we've said for decades now that men and women, for all intents and purposes, are the same and interchangeable. We've done that by changing the definition of marriage and pretending that a husband can be a wife and a wife can be a husband, and you can have a marriage of two husbands or two wives. And even before that, we established this premise by embracing feminism and the notion that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. So it goes way, way deeper. And one of the fruits of feminism, maybe one of the causes of feminism, was the ease of divorce, no-fault divorce, which was unheard of in American history until relatively recently. And what's driving a lot of this behavior and a lot of these social pathologies? Well, probably divorce, because the family is the bedrock political unit. So if you have a crack in your bedrock political union, you're probably going to have a crack in your broader polity. There's good stuff here, but we can't call this a win that a father got custody of his kid from some crazy mother, because there's so many problems beneath the surface of that news story. That was a good clip, guys. You got to ring that bell and subscribe, huh? See you next time.